Good morning, everyone. Hello to all of you up there on the internet. I'm Heather Brown, and this is CBSN Minnesota's morning update. Grab that coffee, grab that tea. Some of you grab that Diet Coke. Let's get you up to speed on the news and the weather. We do have a chillier day than what we have been used to over the past couple days. A high of 38 here, according to Mike Augustinak. He says we can call it chilly, but we cannot call this cold because these are still above average temperatures. You can see not much sunshine. Sun starting to peek through those clouds just a little bit this morning, but expect somewhat of a cloudy day. Now let's get right into this, what we are talking about this morning. Apparently 2020 has brought out the cookie monster in all of us. There's a new study out from Top Data. It says Americans are craving cookies 25% more in the COVID era. Not sure how they calculate that, but sounds about right to me. The analysis found that 1 in 5 people are eating 3 or more cookies a day. But 95% of all Americans have dipped their hand in the cookie jar at least once a month in 2020. And then with Christmas coming up, look at that. No doubt all of us are going to be right in there. So we want to know, we want to talk about this morning. Have you been a cookie monster? Have you been baking? What have you been eating? What is your quarantine snack during this pandemic? And are you having that little virtual cookie party this year? If you are watching on Facebook, love to hear a comment from you. I'm going to read through a couple of those in just a few moments. The race for a COVID-19 vaccine is now in its final stretch. An FDA advisory panel says that Pfizer's vaccine should be approved. So this panel is made up of non-government experts. They spent the day yesterday talking about whether Pfizer vaccine should be used in the U.S. Eventually, by the end of the meeting, they voted yes. Now it is up to the FDA to give it the full green light, and that is expected to happen either today or over the next few days. Now, these are the next steps that we can expect here in Minnesota. Let's give you a timeline. The vaccine should arrive the week of December 14th. Now, shortly after that, training will be provided to the people who will administer that vaccine. We do expect to get around 183,000 doses here in Minnesota. That's in the first 4 weeks. So it's that week of December 21st. That's the target for the first doses to go to healthcare workers and to residents in long-term care facilities. In Wisconsin, they'll get 50,000 doses of the vaccine to get started. Health officials there expect to get those doses, they say, sometime in December, but they don't have any exact dates yet. They do hope to be administering their first doses by the end of the month. As we know, frontline healthcare workers will be the first to get the shot. They'll expect it'll take at least 2 months to be able to vaccinate all of Wisconsin's 450,000 healthcare workers. Over at the Mall of America, they are now hosting a rapid testing site. There's a drive-through location. It is in the far north parking lot. It does open up this morning. Organizers expect that it would only take for about 30 minutes to get your test results back. That's quick. That's one of those rapid tests. Now, most insurances will cover this cost of the test. If it does not, if yours does not, each test will cost $99. This is one of those tests you do not need symptoms, you don't need exposure to get tested, but they really do recommend that you make an appointment. Drive-through walk-ins, though, are available. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz facing yet another lawsuit, this time for halting youth sports. So this comes from a recently formed nonprofit. They're calling themselves Let Them Play. They filed the suit. It says that the state isn't listening to science and data, and they claim that banning youth sports actually increases the spread of COVID-19, calls the sports ban arbitrary and irrational, calling it a burden. According to Minnesota's data, teenagers, the older ones, that 15 to 18 age group, they currently make up about 10% of Minnesota's cases. Trump administration carried out the 9th federal execution of the year last night. 40-year-old Brandon Bernard had been sentenced to death for his role in 2 murders. This is when he was 18 years old. It was the first federal execution during a lame duck presidency in 130 years. There are 4 more scheduled before President-elect Biden takes office. Now, 40-year-old Bernard had been sentenced to death for his role in 2 murders when he was 18 years old. This was, as we said, the first federal execution during a lame duck presidency in the past 130 years. There's a controversy over a church. Some members of a western Minnesota community say that they're worried a group with white supremacist beliefs is moving into town. So the organization is called Osatru Folk Assembly, also known as AFA, and they bought a vacant Lutheran church in Murdoch earlier this year. On Wednesday night, the Murdoch City Council voted to allow the group to practice their pre-Christian European religion there. This comes after some city leaders voiced concerns that rejecting the request could lead to a lawsuit over religious rights. So unlike similar organizations, AFA's statement of ethics says that we in Osatru support strong, healthy white family relationships. We want our children to grow up to be mothers and fathers to white children of their own.
I think it's very obvious that if they are preaching white supremacist beliefs, they're harming the neighbors that are right across the street with young children of color who are too scared to play out in their backyards.
So that's Victoria there. She and a group of others protested the council's decision outside of the church. Murdoch's mayor says the city condemns racism of all forms. We have reached out to the AFA, but have not heard back. A family is pleading with the public to find the person who hit their mom with a car and left her lying in the road. Someone hit 57-year-old Carolyn Edwards near Rice and Milford Streets. This happened in St. Paul last Tuesday night. She was struck by a silver minivan when she was crossing the street. It's that one right there. Police say that the driver got out of the van at first. They checked to see if Miss Edwards was alive, but then left her lying in the street, and then the car took off. That minivan took off. Well, right now, Miss Edwards is hospitalized in a coma with a brain bleed and a pelvic fracture. Her daughter spoke only to WCCO.
What if she don't never come out of this coma, you know? And you only get one mama. Can't nobody replace her. I just really hope whoever know or whoever have any information, please go forward.
So again, check this out. This is this minivan. It's silver. It has a missing hubcap on the passenger side. The front bumper also missing. Police do believe that the driver is a man. If you know anything, call St. Paul Police. You can remain anonymous. So you don't see musicians reject Grammy nominations all that often, but a Minnesota group says that they do not want to be in the running for the award. The Okie Dokie Brothers album, Songs for the Singin', received the Grammy nomination for Best Children's Album. But the lead singers Joe Maylander and Justin Lansing, along with some of the other nominees, wrote a letter to the Recording Academy, and they asked to be removed from the ballot. They say that they don't want to be involved because the other nominees in their category are all white and there's only one other woman. They said that they want to be part of the solution to bias, racism, and sexism. Now, the Recording Academy sent us a statement in part saying, fostering more opportunities for women and people of color in the music community is one of the Recording Academy's most urgent priorities. The slate of nominees for this year's Grammy Awards are among the most diverse, and we will continue to push for even greater inclusion and representation. The Grammys are set to be awarded on January 31st. And there is a Grammy winner, has fans raving about her new album. It's an unexpected one. Last night, Taylor Swift released her 9th studio album. It's called Evermore. This is the sister album to the release that she put out just a few months ago. Very popular folklore, especially popular during this pandemic. Swift says that she's excited about turning 31 years old. Her lucky number is the number 13, so that's 31 backwards. She says that fans have been so caring and thoughtful about her birthday that she just wanted to give them a little something special. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been named Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2020. So this annual recognition is awarded to the individual or group of people who affected the news or our lives the most, for better or for worse. Time tweeted, the Biden-Harris ticket represents something historic, adding that the Person of the Year is not just about the year that was, but about where we're headed. So they did beat out other contenders like President Donald Trump and Dr. Anthony Fauci. Okay, we're going to get to today's talker here. Earlier, we were talking about Americans and their COVID cookie habit they've developed over the past couple months. And we wanted to know, what has been your go-to quarantine snack during this entire year of 2020? Let's get to these tag board comments. We have Mary saying, oh, we definitely have a sweet tooth and I love baking. I bake small batches of cookies. I also make Jell-O and pudding and cakes and muffins. And I'm spending more time in the kitchen these days. You know, Mary, we're right down here at downtown Minneapolis on South 11th Street. Paul, no cookie binges here. Good work for you, Paul. Healthy foods and beer. Yep. Judy says my quarantine snacks have been almonds and pecans. That's a good healthy one there. Brian, oh, I'm right with you on this one. And living on the Reese's Pieces and on the popcorn. Brian, can't wait to get back into the gym. I think there's a lot of you feeling that one there from Brian. I think we have one more coming on. Oh, no, there we go. So thanks so much for sharing all of your quarantine go-to snacks. Just makes me feel a little bit better about all those Christmas cookies that have been had and yet to be had. Thanks for watching us. You can download us on any of your devices by downloading the CBS News app or WCCO.com. We'll see you back here on Monday.